Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Caper Sarah, and we're keeping it geekly with the creative team of Raze Comics. We're here to do the launch party for issue 6 and everything in between. Sam, Ben, Trey, welcome to the stream. How have you guys been since the last time? I think it was interview, like what, 195 or something? We did like an ending party for issue 5. So what's been up since you guys last been on the show?
Just a lot of work. Getting everything ready for this Kickstarter, getting everything ready for this issue. You know, just staying busy, man. Staying busy.
Trey, Ben, what have you guys been up to?
I've been working on work and stuff like that, but we've had to find a new artist. We've done a lot of like writing and rewriting, so we've been kind of working on every single front since last time we were here.
You guys were doing a script pitch for a film thing, if I remember too, right?
Yeah, we actually we did that between writing issue 6 and issue 7, so we're kind of in the spare time when we're bored, just writing away, trying to become better writers and just trying to elevate our game, and hopefully, I mean, we did the script and now like we're bringing that to Raze because we learned a lot as far as plot, characters, story, structure, all that good stuff.
Oh, so issue 7, that you guys are definitely putting some work in. Real quick, we have Lori of Path of the Pale Rider in chat saying it's time, give us Raze or we riot. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Happy to see you, Lori. Hope you're having a awesome morning as well. So guys, give us a little bit about what you do on as you're part of the creative team. Let's kind of do a little introduction for everyone who hasn't been here. It's been what, 200-300 interviews since the last time we had you on, so give us a little bit about yourselves. We'll start with Ben, and then we'll kind of, for me it goes Ben, Sam, and then Trey, so we'll kind of just move in a circle.
So what I do is basically all the concepts for everything that's like kind of mixed media in terms of like the color for posters, color for stickers, storyboarding, and really I was there at the beginning, man. Like I was with these guys when they came up with the whole idea and I was doing the first concept sketches, so it's like really insane for us to be here presenting issue 7 now, so, or 6, so it's just insane. It's just crazy and it just keeps going up. But
it's been there with Sam since birth.
Yeah. Can't get rid of this guy. I try, I just can't do it.
I show up everywhere.
Yeah, he's in my nightmares. No.
To add on to that, it's kind of crazy because he's the inception of one of our characters. Like when we were talking about this stuff in the basement, coming up with wacky ideas, he's like, "Hey, you guys should have like a Southern guy." And we're like, "Oh, that would be cool." And then we kind of just went off of that. So royalties heading your way, my friend, once we hit it big.
Yep. Contract.
But yeah, I am the co-creator of Raze Comics. I'm kind of the guy at the front of the orchestra with the little wand, just doing his little thing, making sure all our team members are on board, just trying to keep everything maintained and make this beautiful machine work the best way we know how, which is creating a good story, good art, good characters, and good promotion, good marketing, trying to do everything in between to really make this comic stick out to a lot of people who don't know who we are.
I seen this thing where it was like a reference for artists. If you want to do like Wizards dueling, use the music composers. Because they're always like doing like crazy things. We have a sketchy guy in Nevada in chat saying hello, welcome to the stream, sketchy guy. We appreciate you stopping in. So Trey, certainly, last but not least, give us a little introduction to who you are.
Let's see. So also the co-creator, the co-writer, former artist. I still do some artwork as far as like maybe promotional art, or maybe we'll do like a variant cover. I'll help make that. But a lot of it is also, I guess you would say R&D. I do a lot of the research for when we write these stories and whatnot. It's funny because I've actually done more reading of real books than comic books since starting being a comic. Because every time we have an idea, I'm like, does that actually work? Let me research this. And after 2 hours of reading, I'm like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. So,
how does it feel to kind of give up the reins a little bit of the art? You know, like having done it for so long, do you feel like you're handing off your baby to someone else, or you know, how did that work for you?
It's kind of bittersweet. I mean, there's something very, rewarding about being the artist for your series or for your comic book. But at the same time, I think it's also, I'm not that kind of artist. I think there's different kinds of artists out there. You know, somebody who can draw the same thing, X amount of times over and over and over is definitely a skill. I think I'm more of like, I need inspiration for a certain piece that I'm doing to kind of really get into it. But I think this is in very good hands. Our artist Vin has been doing an amazing job.
Oh yeah.
I'm very, very picky with the things that I approve of or I put out there, and he's killed it every single time. So I'm very happy with what we have now.
For everyone that is watching, right there is a link to the Kickstarter. Go ahead and share that wherever you can. You know, we'd love to see you back today, but if you can't back, put that on Facebook, put that on Twitter, anywhere you can put a link. It's free to do that. I'm sure you're gonna have a friend who would love this story. We got Lori saying, so you're on a government list somewhere due to your search history tray. Yeah, isn't that crazy how that works? You'll be looking up stuff and it's like the FBI agent's like, all right, let's get him.
I still have my tabs open.
Hey, FBI agent, so give us a little bit about what this comic is about. I know previously we would joke around that these aren't like your typical zombie. I mean, like, what are we working with in the world of Raze?
You want to take this, Trey, or you want me to take this?
I could probably take this. So I guess these are still under the category of zombie. That's one of the things I started reading is, even though they're infected, so these are still living beings. So they are infected with a unknown virus that essentially just kind of alters the way their body works. So as opposed to your regular kind of, slow zombies or what zombies you're looking at, these things do have somewhat of a thought process. Their motor functions work very well. They're these very rage-induced kind of, strong creatures who just kind of, will bulldoze over anything in their way. So, and this is something you'll really see at the end of issue 6 as well. So we can't wait for you guys to see that.
We got Sketchy Guy saying the IRS has questions about that piano. Sam, you should have tucked it away, man.
It's a tax write-off.
Tax write-off. We need the music for inspiration. So, I mean, does this infection have any sort of cures? I mean, if that's not spoiler or anything, is there any coming back from this, or once you're infected, you're pretty much done?
Well, that's the cool thing about issue 6 is we kind of open up that envelope to what kind of I would say almost the rules of the infection that people are going to see, without spoiling too much, is, a lot of people have been asking about the infection and is there a cure and all these things. And I think the way we're doing it in our story, we're kind of cookie trailing people, where we're kind of giving you little pieces at a time. And, over the course of our comic, you're going to really find out those answers and maybe even more questions than answers, because obviously we don't want to give everything away right at the beginning. So we're trying to keep the readers engaged as we go across the story and kind of show you what this infection is actually about.
And so what I will say, just to kind of backdoor that, I would say that there's necessarily a cure for it, because in this series, it's a very new, very mysterious thing no one really knows about. But you will see very soon that there is a way to prevent the spread. There's something you can do in case you get in contact that you can prevent it. We won't know what that is yet, but we'll have that coming very soon.
We have Sketchy Guy saying, leave it to the conductor to write off a piano. Gold, Lotus, Paper, MTG. Good morning, Cody. Nice live stream. Thank you for joining us, Gold. And then we have Sketchy Guy. The cure is more cowbell. Absolutely. Sorry, guys, for a little bit of a, I wouldn't say so flashy layout. We have, more than I usually have in terms of guests. So in order to fit everyone and accommodate that, we needed to kind of not use the old layout, but when this goes to post-production, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Ben, as the concept artist, what are some of the influences or maybe some of the things you look at to kind of get some of these designs and inspirations for them?
So we'll use like a number of different references. Usually, like, I'll just try to create something that is straight out of my head. In terms of like visuals of like scenic landscapes and like buildings and things like that, I try to basically just use creativity to create the space myself to do something original. Because we have talked a lot about like using buildings in New York and things like this and like real places, but to find real buildings and real places that we are actually going to use, that's where like the creativity and the originality comes in, where I can just put it down on paper, and whether or not it looks right or wrong, they can go off of that.
That is awesome. So we have, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so like it's kind of a collaboration between references and just basically creating something that doesn't exist.
So we have 5 previous issues. What's been happening in the story leading up to issue 6? If you guys can kind of give us a couple of the beats.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of give you a quick rundown. Issue 1, which me and Trey talked about when we first crafted it, it was that holy shit issue. It's almost like walking into a massacre, a tragedy, and you don't have any time for these characters to digest it. It's just happening. It's quick. It's infected, ripping people apart off on a bridge. Imagine a Six Flags line, and there's infected on every corner trying to just be animalistic and tear you apart. And our survivors are in the middle of that. Issue 2 really follows complicated storyline because they're trying to get off this bridge, and they don't really know these people, and we kind of force 2 groups to kind of get along and try to escape. And again, they're still on the bridge, so like danger's like 100 feet away, and we see how complicated that gets. Issue 3 is really just combining all these characters together, seeing how they mesh, seeing how they mix, and they really don't, because they don't know each other, and a lot of personalities don't go well with each other. And issue 4 is really the start of our first arc, which is the Junkyard arc, which is what we are on now. And issue 4 really follows a moral dilemma of, we have someone who is clearly infected, and we have a person who's in the medical field trying to help and trying to, solve this thing that she knows nothing about. And one of the survivors is pretty much saying, hey, do we kill him now, or do we let him, do we give him the opportunity to kill all of our friends and all of our team?
That would be me.
And yeah, and it splits everyone in half, because some people are like, oh, I agree. And some people are like, yo, you're insane. You're crazy. And then issue 5 really follows a missing child within our group is missing, and the infected they were helping is missing, and we follow them pretty much a chase scene, and where issue 5 ends is we show up at a warehouse. They're still missing, but we see a bloody handprint on the door, and really issue 6 is trying to find where this kid is before this infected does, and you're gonna see kind of how that either gets resolved or that doesn't. And that's the whole storyline of issue 6, really just trying to get to the kid before the infected does.
That is some dark stuff. I mean, typically you don't see implications of a kid. I mean, sometimes you do, but like this one, like implications of a kid getting like mauled by a zombie, that's kind of walking a fine line, and I love it. So Trey, Sam, which one of you came up with that idea? That's brutal. Let me remember never to let you babysit any of my kids either. Damn.
I mean, the thing is like, so me and Trey talked about this. There's a lot of comics out there in general, but the thing we wanted to do is Raze is a dark story. We it's almost this thing of we're feeding you this really dark story, and we're trying to find these little things of light to keep you attached. You know what I mean? And to give that humanity back. But it's always this thing, and I tell him all the time, you know, he knows too. Like when we're brainstorming ideas, I'll be like, I got an idea, and he's like, no.
He's like, go to therapy first, and then let's talk about it.
Yeah. But it's this thing of like, I want these readers, when they see this page or they see this issue or they see this panel, where they're like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? What's wrong with you people? You know, that's what I live for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what excites me. And Trey knows that. You know, so we try to do that wherever we can.
We have Lori in chat saying, I want shopping. Let us know what you got. Give us the details. And Lori saying, I use the same background as I use. Same room, you mean? This is a real room that Sam's in.
Yeah, this is
not
my
an illusion. So Trey, I mean, as the previous artist with issue 6, we do have a new art style, a new format for the book. I mean, how does it feel to kind of see what you started kind of like take a little bit of a different turn into you know, the different art direction?
Honestly, it's kind of exciting, you know, because we always say, you know, you get to see your art in a new rendition, a new light. So while I was so used to the things we had before, and I really liked the way we were doing the style, you know, once I saw what our new artist was doing, I'm like, you know what, it feels fresh, it feels new. I'm getting to see, you know, our characters look a little different, but it's honestly just kind of, I guess, a little refreshing, I would say. It's almost like watching someone do like a fan art or a concept art of your project. So I just love it.
And I mean, has that like posed any like difficulties for you guys, like translating like the previous, you know, what you guys wanted from the story to the new artist, or like how did that relationship end up going for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, you know, this is our first comic book series ever, and this is like our baby, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like if we were to do it all over again, I feel like we do some like one shots, like try to figure out how comic books actually work before doing Raze. But we didn't have that time, and we didn't have that opportunity because we love this story and we wanted to put it out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like learning as it came. And you know, I think when we got to issue 5, we kind of knew what we were doing and knew what we were going for. And we're like, you know, this works as a manga. I haven't seen a whole lot of zombie horror comedy mangas out there. And we're huge fans of mangas and animes in general. So like, you know, the flow we were looking for panels, as far as characters and fight scenes and infected, it just made sense. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. And Ben, as the concept artist, what's your thoughts on the new artist as well?
Oh, I love it, dude. Every time I see something new, I'm like, that is fucking insane. Like, it is just insane, some of the stuff that they're coming up with.
Can't believe you cursed. This is a Christian family-friendly show.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
What are you doing? No, I'm just joking. Guys, I mean, the Kickstarter is live. Once again, right here is the link for everyone who is watching with us. Check it out. If you can back, we would love to see you back. If not, put that on Facebook, put it on Twitter. It's free to do so. And let me know in the chat what you would do. Would you kill that infected person, or would you let that infected person live? I mean, it's a very sticky situation. I, for one, would have probably killed him. Then we wouldn't have to worry about the kid, you know, potentially getting eaten like a little sandwich, little infected sandwich. But can you imagine, dude? Was it Dawn of the Dead, the kid zombie? Like when they open the door and it's that kid zombie just like running at her. That's the scariest shit in the world. I mean, a full-grown man I can handle, you know, probably not, but like having a little goblin running at you like infected would be scary as shit. Real quick, I am curious. I don't know if I mentioned this or asked last time. Is there like Left 4 Dead vibes with this at all? Like the bridge scene?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, okay. we literally have like Easter eggs of. Do we have Easter eggs in the first 5 or 6 issues, Trey? I feel like we do.
We Easter egged a lot in the first few issues, but it's very interesting that you mentioned Left 4 Dead, because that was actually like the inspiration for this entire thing. That was like our favorite game. That's what kind of started this whole thing. So
that's
very
awesome.
Very good perception for you.
That is awesome. So let's go ahead, and we got Sketchy Guy. I'd flip a coin. It's such a, because you don't know, you know what I mean? You're in the middle of this and you have no idea. You're like, maybe he could sleep it off. I don't know.
But that's the thing though. Like you have to be the judge, jury, and executioner before actions happen. You know what I mean? That's why, I mean, it's from all the issues we've done, it's the most thought-provoking one that I think we've done thus far, which I love. You know, like it really does, like as a viewer, like you kind of have to pick a side. You know what I mean? So very cool.
All right, let's go ahead. We're going to pull up this Kickstarter right now. We're going to get this party started. Let me share screen. And boom, we are already almost a fifth of the way funded. Let's go. Congratulations on that. Whoa. I got to adjust this on the fly.
Oh, you're good.
Stretch it out a little bit and we are good. Let's get a little refresh in there. For everyone in the chat, check it out with us. Pull it up. Dude, congratulations, guys. So, yeah, this is obviously a horror comic, bunch of blood, gore, and action. Let's go ahead and check out some of these preview pages for issue 6. So, give us an idea. So, where are we at right now in the story without spoiling?
So, this is literally like after issue 5 ends, issue 6 picks up. So, it's like they're already trying to get into the warehouse door, and we're going to show a little bit of... You know, we're trying to tie together, I think, some of our older issues, which you can clearly see in this
right
page. Here. We are exploring the idea of the infection and really, I think, how it works in a sense without giving too much away. And that's what you're gonna kind of see through these characters and you know how it's going to operate.
It feels a little bit more manga influenced.
Definitely, for sure. Vincius Oliveira killed it. Hats off to you, buddy. He really, I mean, he Trey said it perfectly. Like we're very nitpicky when we send him pages. There's been maybe 3 edits throughout the entire of issue 6, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like he's incredible.
That's crazy.
And I seen the time lapses and the way he works is awesome too. You know what I mean? Like the way he just does everything as like one whole piece. I cannot draw to save my life, so I'm always very impressed when I could see people doing stuff that's not like a stick figure.
No, 100%.
And I love the detail in this too. So I mean, like the way we got the eyes kind of like bloodshotting and like the skin kind of like. Almost looking corrosive, like the veins popping out, the bruising. I mean, so what's this infection do to the human body?
So it deteriorates over a course of time, which Trey, if you want to take that away.
Let me, I think I can give somewhat of a detailed kind of step-by-step, because I don't think we're going to really explain it this way in the comics. So as we've explained before, it spreads through touch, right? So once it spreads through touch, pretty much you absorb this, we'll call it parasitic thing into your bloodstream. And as we all know, we have our red blood cells. Now, red blood cells carry things such as like, oxygen. They have, your proteins, your sugars on there. And so this thing will attack your red blood cells. It's going to eat the proteins, the sugars, and then it multiplies.
Damn.
Now, one thing about your red blood cells is once, you have these proteins, these sugars, things like that, that's what determines essentially your blood type, the way it looks, the way it forms. So once it kind of attacks the red blood cell, your white blood cells no longer recognize your red ones. So instead of attacking the virus, it attacks your own body, your own red blood cells. Eventually, it makes its way all the way up to the brain, where there it affects your cognitive functions. Things like emotion, things like hunger, things like growth, things like strength. So really, this thing just kind of gets into you, and it just kind of messes around, changes everything, and then eventually you turn into one of these.
Damn, Trey, you were not joking when you said you do some research into this shit, man. That's like, we could just do a podcast of you just explaining this.
Right. That's more like a consolidated version. Now, I have like a whole bunch of bullet points that I have to actually kind of go through. I'm just kind of paraphrasing here, but there will be something in the series that kind of branches off from that. So I want people just to think blood type. That's very important on what's going to come later.
That is awesome. We have Sketch Guy saying drama in these illustrations. Absolutely. This is gorgeous. I love this. So let's go ahead. We're going to check out some of the images from, the previous issues as well. So here is the altercation on the bridge. So is there any talks of like potentially like redoing the art for the last previous 5 issues?
We've definitely talked about it. I mean, it just depends on, I think, the demand for it. I know a lot of people love issue 1, and I would personally love to go back to it. I think the thing is we're more focused on moving the story forward than going back. But I mean, if there was a demand for it and we had a chance to really elevate the art and, make the story a little bit more, I would say, tightly knit.
I was like, what is that word he just used?
Sorry. It's still early, man. It's still early. But yeah, if we had a chance to do that, go back to some of these issues, really elevate it in a way that goes on par, because I feel like we really hit our footing on 4, 5, and 6. Then 100%.
I think now too it's about like the consistency of the art. Like say we do the next 4 or 5 issues and they don't change style at all, then it would be a question of like, oh, maybe we should go back and maybe rework, 2, 3, 1.
So are you guys like concerned at all like with like splitting your fan base with 2 different art styles going forward? You know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much.
He's like, Cody, don't do this to me.
No, to me, I feel like the story is what's gonna compel people.
Yeah, I mean the thing is too. I've always said this: the art is what brings you to the comic, but you stay for the story. You know what I mean? And I think. Honestly, I really do believe this. I believe as we've like obviously going through the issues right now that like the art has gotten progressively better, and everyone's gonna have their preference on art. But I think you're gonna have the people who are gonna stay up on the hill and saying that we want that same art. But I honestly think like if you're a fan and you see the story and where we're trying to head and what we're trying to do. For some of these pages and just overall the story, I think you're gonna keep coming back, or that's the hope at least.
I just love how dark and brutal some of these pages are. Like we have, this guy clearly not looking too hot, sweaty, bleeding. I'd be getting out of there. She is a champ for going in there and trying to take care of him. Now, how is the infection spread, though? Is it airborne, skin contact, blood-based, like saliva? Like, how's that work?
So it is blood-based, but it is going to be via contact. So you'll probably see, in one of the issues, actually that page right there, you'll notice on the bottom of that page, he has a few things on his hand. And so those are these little kind of blisters, and they're like blood filled. So once they kind of touch you, that's it right there.
Guys did him dirty too. No wonder he was wearing that hat before. My man.
Did him dirty.
Did him dirty.
So it's funny. So we Cody, have you ever seen the Rob Zombie Halloween movie, the first one?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so there's a gas station scene, and his name's Joe Grizzly, and that's like the inspiration for this character. So he's very close to the actor who played it.
I swear, every character that they do, there's like some callback to somebody.
That's good though, right? That's
super dope.
Yeah, we have Lori saying nightmare fuel. Absolutely. I love too how we have the kid hiding behind the tree, steps on the branch, and then it's like, oh shit.
Yep.
Like just the fear in his eyes right there.
The baldness or the zombie?
Both. He's like, why is this bald man running at me? Is he gonna take my hair?
Mr. Clean be coming at you fast in that forest, dog. You better He's fast as fuck, boy.
Oh no, the shoe too.
Oh,
This would be
yeah.
terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I remember concepting that so many times.
Oh, props to our concept artist. That graffiti piece is a real graffiti in the real world brought over to the comic.
What's the meaning of it? Is there any special?
Oh no, it's just my graffiti. Yeah.
Just the climatic moment. Should have made something up.
No,
Let's take a look at some of the survivors as well. So, I mean, we have Bucky. Yeah, give us a little bit about Bucky. What we'll do is I'll name off the characters, and you can kind of give us like a little one-sentence pitch about him.
Yes, so the cool thing that we did for these characters in this Kickstarter is we kind of like tried to just give you like the whole pitch of what we've seen thus far in each issue. So like, you know, for Bucky, he's always this guy who's trying to help, and we actually went back for his whole story for issue 1. So for each character you're going through, we're kind of giving you like a breakdown of what they've done in the story and how that really leans into their character.
See, I would be like Victoria. No qualms in attempting to kill a man.
Right.
Ian is nothing short of a handful, the instigator.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sarah. This is she's nice, you know. Risked her life and limb to rescue a child from certain doom. You know, it's really situations like this bring out the best and the worst in humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Ashley with the first major breakthrough in diagnosing this mysterious disease. I mean, what type of backgrounds do these guys have? They're not really fleshed out. I mean, like Ray, like he looks like he was like a high school like football player, you know?
Mm-hmm. So they're all like young. I mean, they're not really that old. You know what I mean? So it's really trying to create that story. My bad if I cut you off, Trey.
No, you're fine. I mean, we'll get into some of their backstories very soon, by the way. But I think a lot of these characters, you want to make them a bit younger just to have a bit of that inexperience, that immaturity. Because that leads to a lot of good like dynamics between the characters. Now, some of them are a little bit older, like Ashley, for example. She's a little older than them. That's why she has the experience in like, you know, medicine and whatnot. So we'll get into that as well. And then another one of our characters, Frankie, he's a bit older as well. So it's a little bit of a range. So some of them, those two will have the most skill as far as, you know, what they can use to kind of help them kind of get through this.
Yeah, we have quite a team. Is it hard having so many survivors and having to connect so many different stories and so many people just to work with? That just seems like it would be just a whole other thing in itself.
Yeah, I mean, we had to learn really quick how to write these comics because there's a lot of characters, and we always like to say, like, each issue isn't going to show every character, and it's not going to have them in the limelight every issue. So it's really trying to pick your punches and what storyline works with each character and what we can bring out in certain storylines. I will say everyone does get you know, their moment, you know, but when they get their moment, it's because it's super important. And that's something I think when you read our comics to pay attention to, who we're focusing on, because that's really going to push the story forward when we get to the next issue.
Another thing about your guys' comics is the covers. They're so distinctive, all the issues. You know, where are we at with this one? This looks like a pretty detailed spot. We got some first aid crates right here, some blood. So obviously they're going to need that. Like,
So there's a lot of Easter eggs in this. You talked about Left 4 Dead earlier. Those crates are straight from L4D. I mean, those are like No Mercy campaign hospital crates that we're like, all right, we need to give them that Easter egg on our cover. But this is, I mean, it's interesting because the hardest part is these covers and coming up with the ideas of these covers, because, you know, the covers only work when you have that red text in the middle, and you can't have anything over that. So it's really trying to, you know, show you what the issue is somewhat going to be about, while also having this layout work for said idea. And this is really going to tell you where we might be going for issue 6.
okay. Then we have a nice variant right here too. This looks pretty brutal. I love, you know, we have the two characters right there, and then the infected screaming in the middle with the 6 on the tongue, like perfect.
Yep. Marco Di Fillo, thank you, my friend. You killed it.
Yeah, I love that.
That's props to Trey too, because he came up with that idea for the cover.
Too,
Oh, right there.
Yeah, he was like, hey, what if we do this? And I'm like, that's a really fucking cool idea. And I'm like, that would be sick. Because the idea was supposed to be a mask with its one single mask, and there's 3 people. So it almost looks like one uniform face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just like those theater masks that it's like you have the different emotions, like there's the sad face, the angry face, and then there's the happy face, and it's all one mask, so it's meant to be like theater, like showing emotions. So we kind of mixed up the emotions a bit, but that was kind of the blueprint for that.
The color is just amazing.
And then we have another awesome variant right here as well.
Yep, that's our actual artist, Vin, who did the cover, who's incredible, and this is actually going to be our first foil cover. So if you go on our Kickstarter and back one of those tiers, you can get our first ever foil cover for issue number 6.
We have a sticker set designed by Ben Willis. I love the little "Don't Touch" Raze Comics approved. That's awesome. The zombie in the eye too is very nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
So is this like a little indication of where we could see issue 6 or maybe issue 7 leading? This, fire escape filled with blood right here. This looks pretty graphic.
Yeah, so this is actually this is a tease to where we're heading in the future, because this is like an alleyway, and Ben, me and you were talking about this, and we're just like talking about how cool it would be to do like almost like I told him I had the inspiration from like Daredevil. Like let's do a cool little alleyway, and then we started coming up with ideas like, oh, what if there's like a staircase and somehow we could form it into the Raze R and just make it bloody and just have it going down the building. Oh shit!
I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's supposed to show. So it's almost like it's a little kind of Easter egg to our logo almost. You know what I mean? But doing it in a really smart way.
That's impressive, because I was like looking, I'm like, dude, this is really bloody and graphic. And you're like, that's an R. I'm like, it's an R.
Yep. So props to Ben on that, because it was like a really. I told him the idea. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm just trying to tell you an idea, but it's hard to formulate. Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We're going to go through some of these tiers as well. For everyone that is watching, be sure to check this out with us. Once again, if you can back, we would love to see that. But simply putting this wherever you can, word of mouth is 100% free. It costs you nothing to do. And I'm sure you're going to have a friend who's going to love this story. I mean, who doesn't love, infected people killing other people? It's good reading, right? Like, I love it. So you can make a pledge, $1. Just back it because you believe it. Every dollar counts in something like this. So if you got it, put it out there. We have an early bird special at $3, so you could receive issue 6 digitally for $3. That's one hell of a price. Then issue 1 digital is $4 outside of the early bird. You can get a digital copy of issue 6 at $5, and then the physical at $15. So an awesome price there. How many pages is this going to be, by the way?
It kind of depends, because if you go through when we go through the tiers, there's a lot of tiers that are kind of backer dependent, depending on what they get, as far as what we need to fill in this comic. But we're probably looking past 30 pages. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a lengthy book this time around.
And then we have that 3-faced variant coming in at $20. You can get issues 1 through 6 digitally for $30, so that's an awesome price for 6 comics. Like, holy crap. How many pages would you guess like that's going to be?
Whoa, 130, I would say, maybe more. 130 pages, around that.
140, 144, something like that.
And then right here's another awesome tier where you can get issues 1 through 5 digitally, and then the foil variant covers. So awesome price on that. Buy an ad page, so for $50, that's one hell of a price. That is a steal. Are they able to advertise like whatever they want, like their comic or their project?
Correct, as long as it's not, like a Viagra ad or something weird.
Zombie Viagra.
Yeah. Well, I'd be game for that. No,
a different type of infection.
But yeah, I was gonna say this is kind of like this is a shout out to all the indie people in the space who constantly help me and have helped me. If you want to get your name about your comic, this is a really good chance for you to get in a different book and get that advertisement. So definitely, you know, if you're trying to get your name out there, it's definitely a good opportunity.
And you're really realistically only paying $35 because, you know, you're getting issue 6 as well with the ad, and then 1 through 5 digitally. So I mean, you're buying the issue, you know, for $15, and then another $35. You're getting an advertisement in that book too. So
exactly.
that is a steal. Become a character in issue 6 at $75. So it looks like we kind of have an idea of. I don't know if this. I'm gonna look to see if this preview is up here, but.
Yeah, it should be. I think too. You can go all the way down to the bottom, Cody. I'm pretty sure.
To the bottom.
Yeah, and that should have all the visual representations.
There we go. So it looks like you have somewhat of an action part in this. Is there going to be a speaking role, or is it just more or less just an action role?
I would say there's probably going to be a little bit of dialogue in there. You know,
does screaming count as speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might not be you might not survive.
Yes, but if you are a character, you will die.
And then you also still get 1 through 5 digitally, and then issue 6 physically. We have Lori saying, "Ooh, pretty. I like shiny things." Yeah, absolutely. And then here's another cool feature too. So adopt a page. You'll be able to purchase pages 1 through 24. $200. You receive a physical print of the page, 8x11. Also comes with issues 1 through 5, and then 6 physically. So I think that is another awesome part. You know, get your own little page in the book too. I mean, awesome, dude.
Right.
And then at $300, get drawn as an infected. So that is awesome. A custom print. You get issues 1 through 5 digitally, issue 6 physically, the variant, the glow in the dark, or the foil variant, and then get drawn 11x17 print. So.
Yeah, and that one is very limited because Vin's gonna be doing the drawing, and he's
Imagine
we got 5 slots for that. So
imagine you have like 300 people. Like,
yeah,
that'd be very good, right? At 500 or 300 people, like that'd be a banking Kickstarter, man.
Yeah, no, literally. But I mean, he's working. He's actively. I mean, we're finishing up production right now for issue 6. So I mean, he's gonna be busy, you know. So we don't want to overload him with too much.
Look how good Ben looks in this. See, I had my plugs in too, and then they just got flesh colored. Yeah, I love these little portraits, dude. These are so odd. You look way more happier than you normally do, though. I say they probably, they gave you a much larger smile than you normally are wearing. That is awesome. So everyone watching, right here is the campaign once again. Now, guys, after taking a look at that, breaking everything down to the T, what would you like to say to anyone who might be on the fence about backing? If you just had a few moments to kind of address that, we'll start with Ben, and then of course go down to Sam, and then with Trey.
Whether people do back or not, I mean, we are gonna keep creating. You backing us would just give us basically the money and the resources to continue creating. But either way, Raze is coming at you 110 miles per hour, and it's not going nowhere. So it's just gonna keep coming. But I appreciate all the love and support from any of the fans, really.
That's dope. That's a good pitch right there.
All right, Sam, you're next.
I would say if you're on the fence, I know I've had this conversation on Twitter Space. A lot of people are on the fence about zombies, and we are trying to break down that genre. We are trying to, anyone who is a fan of horror, action, comedy, drama, romance. I mean, we've got it all, I think, in this series, and we're gonna come at you really fast, and I think you're gonna get really attached to some of these characters. I think the ideas we're coming at you from all angles are gonna really make you think. They're gonna get you invested, and that's what we want. We want you to keep coming back and keep getting interested in this story, and hopefully during the course of these Kickstarters give you guys some cool things. So yeah, I mean, it's 6 issues, baby. We're coming hard, and we're gonna be writing these storylines fast, and I think be ready for issue 6, because I think it's one of the best issues we've written thus far.
Okay. And Trey, last but not certainly not least.
I would say anyone who's on the fence about backing, I would just say I think we've all been there to a spot where, we really want to kind of, have a project, or we always like had our own kind of dream we always wanted to do. And I think this is, for us, this is that project. And, like Ben said, like Sam said, we're coming at you quick. Even if you're donating $1, I mean, a dollar means something. It means you guys believe in our project, and we appreciate absolutely every single thing that we get. We got new things coming out. We put the time in, the work in. So we really think if you guys do back it, you won't be disappointed. And ultimately, what do you get to lose?
Let's go. So, guys, once again, right there is the link in chat. Be sure to check it out. Now we're going to be ending the podcast with 2 questions. I think the first one, I usually ask people for inspiration or motivation, but I think, with you guys and with your situation, it's a little bit more unique for anyone who might be on the fence about changing their project. You guys this is your 6th issue, so that's kind of a big deal. You've already published 5 books, so like changing it right after that, like that's kind of big for anyone who is maybe hesitant about doing that with their own project. What advice would you offer them, or what would you say to them, maybe to kind of help them, smooth it out a little bit?
Are we going in a circle again?
Yeah, we can go in the circle again.
Okay.
So wait, am I going first?
Yeah.
Am I going first?
Get your coffee and get your little sip, and you can do that.
All right. Yeah, no, I was confused.
You gotta shake it too.
You got to. It's Dunkin's. It sits there, it gets all sugary. You don't want that. No, but to anybody who's like basically gonna take the leap, just go in with full creativity. Don't come up with new creative ideas like Sam, because I mean, looking at these 2 guys work, it's like he comes up with all the crazy ideas, and then Trey like kind of has to do all the research and stuff like that. So to anybody out there who's like wanting to write a story or go into a big project like this, don't be scared.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll pass it on to Sam.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you just kind of have to be smart about it. I mean, when we were doing the whole style change, it wasn't something that not that we were super gung-ho about. I mean, we obviously wanted, like, we love manga. We wanted to go into the manga style, but we had to have multiple sit downs, and we had to kind of figure out what was the best course for the project, and just trust your gut, like, I mean, we read these comics, and we do like 18 rewrites. So when we read it, we just look at each other like, wow, this sucks. And then we delete everything and we start over. So if you feel it in your gut that it's not good, and if you feel it in your gut that it's not the right decision, trust that. I think, having a really good team around you is important too. So, if you got people you can lean on, and having a good partner and partnership during the course of this project is super important. So, but trust your gut.
I guess what I would say, anyone who is looking to change or needs to change their project, whatever it may be, really, you just got to be confident in the change itself. Because at the end of the day, if you're hesitant on what you're doing or what you're changing, ultimately the fans and the people kind of looking at your project are going to be hesitant as well. So, double down. It happens more often than you think. Even big comics and things like that, they have style changes too. Granted, it's from maybe a story to another story, or sometimes they can't get the same artists to come back, but it happens, and people have to adapt sometimes. So, but ultimately, be confident in the change, embrace it. So ultimately, the people who are backing or follow your project can also be confident in your change as well.
Absolutely. We have some hype over in chat. We have Lori say, squish the draw-ins. Dan Price saying, good luck with the campaign. Thank you for joining us, Dan. J. Michael Miller just back. Thank you for backing. Welcome to the stream, Jay. And then Lori saying, support indie. The funding gives them a way to make a superior product. Absolutely. Right there is the link to make that happen. Now, last but not least, guys, outside of creating, what are you consuming? What books are you reading? What video games are you playing? What movies are you watching? We'll kind of follow that rotation just to make it a little bit easier for you guys.
So I don't know. I watch a lot of movies, a lot of the newer stuff coming out, but I don't like play a lot of games, like video games and stuff like that, just because I'm always creating. In terms of art, my girl has been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate. She's obsessed with it. But other than that, like myself, I can honestly say, like, I just make art every day. That's like what I do. So I love all the new stuff coming out though, like all the new movies and stuff. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now though.
You know, I think the newest one I seen was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I took the kids to see it.
Oh, that was great.
It was awesome. I love the animation. I love the soundtrack the most, I feel. That soundtrack was banging.
I really want to see it. I've been slacking on the movies game, to be quite honest. It's been kind of just watching what's on streaming services and picking that shit apart like it's a roast beef sandwich.
So what are you watching then, Sam? Give us the deets.
Well, so me and Trey have been like proactively binging shows aggressively. So I'd say the first couple of shows, because I got him into Barry on HBO because it's hilarious and they go like super dark with some of their storytelling. But I feel like, you know, we kind of like, anytime we watch something, we're like seeing what works, what doesn't, and that's like, I think keen like to making us better writers. We just finished Succession, which was interesting. But we did just watch the Mario movie.
That was so good too. It felt pretty heavy with fan service. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be that guy.
Of course.
I hope we don't get one of those like multiverse Mario things, like where it spins out like 10,000 movies. You know what I mean?
Right. And then we just played Mortal Kombat. We beat it in one day because we're.
Did you guys see the shit how it looks like on the Switch?
Oh my god! It's terrible. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. It's horrible.
Yeah, they did them dirty. Same price too.
Fucking looks like Sloth from Goonies. It's terrible.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think that's a few of the ones.
I gotta get up to speed.
No, yeah. When you pull it up, let's get a live reaction right now. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I've been TV shows. Grey's Anatomy and like a ton of violent anime. Like I've been watching Grey's with my girl. Like, that's kind of like. All right, let's do it. But then I'm like getting into it. I'm like, okay, don't die, Burke, don't die. But Trey, what are you consuming, man?
I mean, like you said, we watched a few shows. We played a few video games here and there. I mostly try and read articles. I'm mostly reading articles just to kind of broaden my horizons, just kind of get as much information as I can apply towards the comics. So I just picked up 3 volumes of Writer's Guide to Medicine. It's actually very informative. If anyone's kind of, dabbling in things of this category, I would highly recommend it. I also got Writer's Guide to Weapons as well. And it's a lot of good information in there, so that if I have like a crazy idea in my head, I'll read articles about that too, just to kind of get as much information as I can to apply towards it.
I love it. And the more you learn, or the more I forgot what it is, the more you learn, the more you know. Some sort of quote there. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But man, your research is really like, I applaud you for it. You go hard with it. Like, oh my god, man.
I got a good partner, man, because he's like fucking. He knows how a pretend infection works on every level of that idea.
It fleshes out the story even more because you know, like there's no second guessing, the science is behind it, and there's readers who look for that. There's readers who will be like, okay, well, this doesn't make sense, and it's awesome that you're going that extra step to make sure it does. I mean, one hell of a launch party, guys. Let me go ahead. We're going to be dropping that link one more time in chat. Thank you for everyone that has backed. We're already a fifth over funding in the first hour, so let's go. Let's try to get this double funded 200% by the end of the night.
Yes, sir.
Guys, you know what to do with that link. Share it wherever you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. Thank you for everyone swinging by. This has been one hell of a Sunday morning. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a fantastic day, but most importantly, keep it geekly.